In November, Zeb and I packed up the bikes and headed down to Wakayama Prefecture for a long weekend of biking and camping on the Kii Peninsula. It's like 6 a.m. It's pretty chilly out. We're really close to Nara Prefecture right now, and we're starting a biking and camping trip. But before we get into the riding, here's how we got there. It was about 7.5 hours of driving total for us, split over 2 days. If you don't have a car and you're coming from Tokyo by train, you can also get to Wakayama on the Tokaido Sanyo Shinkansen. While driving, there were plenty of Michi no Eki, or roadside stations, to stop at and break up the trip. You can even collect stamps from the stations as you drive through the country. There were a lot of fun trinkets for sale and some interesting marketing.
And the dream resolutely, so he will be able to come to see you in his dream too.
We've been living just below the Noto Peninsula, but this is the largest peninsula on Japan's main island of Honshu. It's maybe most known for the Kumano-Kodo pilgrimage trail, since the peninsula is a sacred place in Buddhism, Shinto, and Shugendo religions. Many people visit to see the shrines and temples, hike the lush temperate rainforests, enjoy the beautiful coastline, or eat the many fruits like persimmons and plums that grow well in Wakayama's climate. Back to the bike riding though. So here we go on day 1. While our goal was to camp in Wakayama, we first stopped in Nabari in Mie Prefecture to stay in a hotel on the way. This is very close to the border of Nara Prefecture, and our first 35-mile ride would go through part of both Mie and Nara on the Kii Peninsula. We got up early to get in some riding before finishing the rest of the drive. Today's bike ride started by following the Nabari River out of the city and around the Hinachi Lake. In fact, we kept following the Nabari River along Road 422, all the way into Nara Prefecture. As the sun rose, the colorful fall leaves became more illuminated. We began our descent back into Mie Prefecture around halfway through the ride. We joined up with the Shorenji River, a tributary of the Nabari River, which we would follow for the rest of the route. We rode through lots of little towns and villages, including ones like Mitsue Village and Soni Village, and it's a place that I'd love to return to and spend more time in. This road took us through the Shorenji River Gorge, and finally to Shorenji Lake, back in Mie Prefecture.
The gorge is so pretty!
This 8-kilometer gorge is called Kaochidani, or Kaochi Valley. There were beautiful fall leaves, called momiji, as well as columns of rocks and stunning cliffs. In addition to being a beautiful place to bike or drive, it's apparently also a good place for rock climbing. Back at the car, we changed quickly and started our final drive to the campsite. It was nice to have our ride finished so early in the day, because it left us plenty of time to enjoy the road trip. We stopped at a roadside station on the Bora of Nara Prefecture, where we saw their controversial mascot, Sento-kun. We bought some persimmon omiyage, and you can also get omiyage with Shikamaru-kun, Nara's more conventionally cute deer mascot. There were lots of vegetables for sale, and we got sushi wrapped in persimmon leaves for lunch. This is called kakinoha sushi. Persimmon leaves also contain a high amount of tannin, with antibacterial and antioxidant properties, so some people say that this helps with the preservation of the sushi.
Or you just ate that whole thing in one bite.
We saw this beautiful golden ginkgo tree from the road and drove down to see it in person. While we were admiring it, 2 other drivers did the same thing, and we were all taking photos and talking about how impressive it was. The Totsukawa River becomes the Kumano River when you enter Wakayama Prefecture, and it was such a vibrant green color. The final part of the drive wasn't on toll roads, but wound deep into the mountains with a maze of curling tunnels and overlapping bridges. The views down into the river valleys below were really beautiful.
We've been driving through Nara, and we finally got to Wakayama, and look how pretty it is!
Finally, we made it to the campsite in Kawayu Onsen, located on the Oto River in the Kumano section of Wakayama Prefecture. In the US, we went camping a lot since we lived in Western North Carolina, so I had to bring some s'mores supplies with us to enjoy around the fire like usual.
This is the closest thing I could find.
I didn't find any graham crackers in our grocery store, but these marshmallows and chocolate cookies were close enough. After we ate, we actually saw that there was tent space by the river, so we moved to that side of the campground and fell asleep to the sound of the water. Here's what the evening chimes sounded like, a nice signal for the end of another day.
Good morning. Zeb already has been up for like an hour and built a fire, which is really nice. Today we have an almost 100-mile ride planned, so I'm pretty excited. We're gonna wait until it warms up a little bit because we don't have anywhere else to be, which is nice. And so we'll have some coffee and breakfast and then start getting out on the road today. Look at him go, making us some coffee.
Caffeinated and ready to ride, we set out on the biggest route of this trip, a 90-mile or 145-kilometer journey through the mountains to the Shirahama coast and back. We almost didn't get to finish it. Luckily, we had some generous help to get back on the road. More about that soon.
Leaving the campsite now. It's a really pretty morning.
We started by riding along the Oto River out of Kawayu Onsen and into the Kii Mountains. Much of our riding this weekend was in the Yoshino Kumano National Park, a 614 square kilometer park across areas in Mie, Nara, and Wakayama Prefectures. Kawayu Onsen, where our campsite was located, is famous for the naturally occurring hot spring water in the Oto River. Each year, from December to February, a huge shinin-buro, or outdoor bath that can hold nearly 1,000 people, is dug into the riverbank. We were a couple weeks early for this, but it would be so cool to experience. Following the Oto River took us into a beautiful lush forest, and the road soon turned to gravel. This was a surprise, but we had wide enough tires that the rougher terrain wasn't a problem, so we continued deeper into the mountains.
This is like a trail. The weather's really nice. Oh wow. Look at that.
There were colorful fall leaves, cool rock tunnels, and views down onto the crystal clear water.
Wow. Yeah. This gorge is one of the prettiest roads that we've been on. It is gravel, so I am kind of a little worried about daylight, but Zeb's not, so it'll be fine. Look at this. The river water is just so blue. And the leaves are peeking. It's nice out here. I'm very impressed with Wakayama.
It felt like the perfect day for biking, until we came across an unfortunate sign.
Uh-oh. Guess what this sign says? Koko de U-turn. Please U-turn here.
With our poor Japanese skills, we asked a friendly construction worker if the road was closed to cars only, or if bikes could pass.
So the road is closed, but the very nice construction worker here said that if we wait, he's going to go up and check at the split to see if we can go on the right side road and keep riding and not have to turn around. Apparently there was a landslide, so that's what they're fixing out here, which happens kind of a lot, I guess.
After some time, though, we heard him returning, and he had great news. Not only would we be able to continue, but he would drive us to the top and escort us through the construction zone.
Oh, wow.
This was so kind and better than anything I had expected.
The construction worker saved our trip. Thank goodness.
That was so kind. There were some more workers repairing a tunnel on the same section of road, but I think the boss had sent a radio message up about us since they didn't seem too surprised to see us. Afterwards, it was smooth sailing for the rest of the ride. I'm still so grateful that the construction workers took the time to help us through when they could have easily just told us to turn around. From here, we were back on pavement, and it was a really fun, long descent towards Shirahama. We're back in civilization. That was a really beautiful road, but I'm also kind of glad that we're back on pavement. Maybe we can finish when the sun is still out now. Promised land.
It's the lost one I was telling you about.
Oh, it's noon. We made it almost halfway, and now we can finally get something to eat. I'm pretty excited. We stopped for konbini snacks and then started a lollipop loop on our route that would take us out to the coast. Look, it's the Pacific.
Now we just have to ride all the way back.
Yep.
Yeah.
This area is really popular for their coastal hot spring baths.
Yeah, tropical island.
This is very tropical. Shirahama means white beach, and the sand was surprisingly white. It didn't feel like anywhere else we had been before in Japan, and it was especially striking to have such a different scenery in the same ride. Just that morning we had been in a dense forest, and now we were suddenly in a beach resort city. That's so cool! This unique rock formation is called Ingetsu Island, and apparently there are times during the year where the setting sun will be positioned perfectly through the hole in the middle of the rock. The only downside of this part of the ride was the really strong wind. I was glad I could hide behind Zeb while he faced the worst of the winds for us. This hotel was so striking because of its unique architecture. It's called the Hotel Kawayu, and is one of the most extravagant hotels in the country. I read later that its gold leaf ceiling actually holds a Guinness World Record for being the largest in the world. Soon we were back in Tanabe, though Zeb had mixed feelings about this welcome statue. Bike looks a little rough. Got a white taiyaki though.
Got bean bun, and the ride reminded me so much of Nice. I got a cafe au lait.
Well, just like Europe.
Just like Europe. Tastes just like it.
Wow. The climb back up from the coast was a little rough for my tired legs, but luckily we had snacks. Also, after we reached mile 80, the last 10 miles were all downhill. We rolled up to the campsite just in time since the setting sun was already getting pretty low. We made it back and we put our bikes away at our campsite. It's pretty nice to not have to check into a hotel and stuff again. We could just roll up and put our clothes back on. Now we're walking to Kawayu Onsen, which is like a 3-minute walk from our campsite. This is where the seasonal outdoor bath is. I think the public bath was 300 yen, and you need to bring your own soap and towel since no soap is provided. Okay, it's a very old-style bath. So we came in over here, and then Zeb's gonna go into the men's one, and then this means women, so I'm gonna go in there too. And I'll see you in like 20 minutes or so.
Bye.
My next video will have the 2 other rides we did this weekend, which includes biking to Shingu, seeing 2 of the main Kumano shrines, and another gravel road adventure. See you soon!